Hey y'all, we're the Learning Estheticians and class is in session.
Let's talk about it. Gaps in your schedule, clients who don't rebook, tight margins, and high processing fees.
Sound familiar?
Because when you're running your own aesthetics business, you don't have time to sit around trying to figure out where you could be making more money.
That's why we love Gloss Genius, the system that helps you bring in more revenue and get more time back.
It fills your calendar, helps rebook clients, and upsells your high margin services automatically.
Plus, their point of sale helps you earn more while saving money on fees.
And they've got all your HIPAA compliant tools you need for charting, consents, and client records without all the admin chaos.
So if you're ready for more revenue and more time for everything else,
See it for yourself. Use code LEARNING at glossgenius.com for 50% off your first 2 months of their gold or platinum plan.
class is dismissed. Can one brand own a word that an entire industry has been using? That is the question at the center of Bushbalm and Vajacial conversation. And whether you offer Vajacials or not, this matters because this is not just about one service name. This is about what happens when beauty language becomes profitable. Who gets to name the service? Who gets to use the word? Who gets to own the category? Who gets protected legally? And what does this teach estheticians about protecting the businesses we are building? This is not legal advice, but this is just a little business yapping and learning. Because around here, we don't like to stick to the surface. Strap up your seatbelts and let's get ready to learn on the Learning Estheticians podcast.
Gotta find beauty in the flow. The more you know, the more you glow. Take it everywhere you go.
Well, welcome back to the Learning Estheticians podcast. How have y'all been? It's me, your girl, Naomi Alexis, rated Lex the Skin Chick. However, you may know me, but today we're going to be unpacking this bush balm. When I was doing my research to further learn more about what's been going on with them, they've done a couple things that have kept the girlies and the folks in a stir. But with this latest situation, it's actually been ongoing. This isn't new. They have been trying to trademark this, from my understanding, for a little while. But I do believe that it's just now becoming more of a public knowledge to everybody. And so my first reaction was like, let me understand what actually is happening right here. But before we get into the business and the industry side, we have to check in with the person behind the treatment table. So let's get into Lexplicit's content, where we let your soul glow.
Just let your soul
Yes, we're estheticians. Yes, we're business owners. And yes, we are learning skin systems, marketing, and how to make that money. But we also are people. We are human beings, okay? And sometimes the way we show up in business, relationships, and friendships and in life are connected to things that we have not fully unpacked in ourselves. So for today's Lexplicit content question, what is something someone can say that instantly triggers something in you? Not just annoys you. I mean, something that makes your body react, something that makes your attitude change, something that makes you shut down, something that makes you get defensive, something that makes you feel small, rejected, overlooked, disrespected, abandoned, or misunderstood. Because sometimes the trigger is not just the sentence, sometimes it is the story your body attaches to that sentence, to that word. For one person, the phrase might be, "you're too much." And that might trigger the feeling of having to shrink yourself. Maybe somewhere along the way, you learned that your personality was quote unquote too big, too loud. Your emotions were too much. Your ideas were too extra. Your ambition was too intimidating, or your honesty made people uncomfortable. So now, when someone says you're too much, it does not just sound like a comment, it feels like a command to shrink, be quieter, or to be less you. Words like calm down may be a trigger for you because maybe you're passionate and people will call it an attitude. Maybe you were hurt and people will call it dramatic. Maybe you were trying to explain yourself and people told you to stop talking back. So now someone says calm down, your body hears your feelings are inconvenient for someone else. There's a whole bunch of different phrases that can be a trigger, and you need to do some self evaluation to see what words and what phrases or even actions are triggering for you because people are people and they can come into the treatment room and accidentally trigger you and they don't even know what happened. Now your mood has shifted. Now your energy has shifted. This is about learning ourselves well enough to ask, why did that hit me like that? Because sometimes the thing that triggers us is showing us where we still need care, where we need new language, where we need healing, where we need honesty. Maybe we need to stop pretending that we are unbothered and admit that, in fact, we're bothered as you know what. Doing this and reevaluating will allow us to see where we need to pause before reacting from an old wound. Self awareness is not saying everything is my fault. No, self awareness is saying I'm responsible for understanding my reactions, but I'm allowed to recognize when something is actually harmful. So here is the question I want you to sit with. What is the word, phrase, or tone or behavior that triggers you? And what do you think it is connected to? Not so you can judge yourself, but so you can understand yourself.
Ride on the magic school bus.
Welcome to the Lessons Lounge, which is where we take the topic and lay it on the table and actually learn from it. Today, we're talking about the whole Bushbalm and Vajacial trademark conversation. So, what really is Vajacial? Vajacial is usually described as a facial style treatment for the bikini area, the intimate area, your pubic area, and outer vulva area. A typical intimate skin treatment may include cleansing, gentle exfoliation, ingrown hair treatments, extractions, um, calming masks, brightening masks. Oh, what happened with Bush Balm and what does trademarking mean? Now let's get into why this became a conversation. Bush Balm is a brand many estheticians and wax specialists know. The girls are already having an issue with Bush Balm because they released a shaving gel or razor gel. And I'm personally, as a waxer, I'm not mad at it. You know, some of my clients, you may come for me for a facial religiously, but can I offer you a product that will help you in what you're doing if it is an effective product? And the way you are deciding to remove your hair, then if I can, why not? They sell intimate skincare products for concerns like ingrown hairs, razor bumps, dark spots, post wax irritation, bikini lines. They have wax and all that there. The controversy started because people in the aesthetic world began sharing that Bush Balm has filed a trademark application and the industry reaction was basically, wait a minute, since when does one brand own the word vajacial? For a lot of us estheticians and waxers and educators and spa owners, vajacial has been used for years as a common name of the service. It's on the menu, it's on booking sites, it's in training classes, it's in captions, it's in product descriptions, it is in client conversations. So let's define trademark simply. A trademark is a word, phrase, symbol, or design that identifies the source of a product or service. And so in plainer language, a trademark tells people this comes from this specific brand. So Bush Balm as a brand name, that makes sense. But like facial, waxing, cleanser, body scrub, those words are categories. They describe something, a process, a procedure. And that is where Vajacial gets complicated. Does Vajacial identify Bush Balm? Specifically, or does it identify a type of treatment? That is the core question. Because if the industry and the public understand vajacial as a type of service, then one brand trying to own that word becomes problematic. Some words are generic, meaning they have like a common name for something, and those are the hardest and often most impossible to own. And some words are descriptive, meaning they describe what the product or service is. Those are also harder to protect, and then there are more unique names, made up names, or very specific brand names, and those are usually a stronger case when wanting to get a trademark. So we look at a word like the J show is not giving one person can own this. It describes a facial style service for the intimate area. That makes it feel descriptive at minimum. And if the industry has already been using it as a common name for the service, then the argument becomes even stronger that this is a category term. It could affect service providers who have it on their menus. It could affect educators teaching vajacial training. It could affect products and brands selling vajacial masks or kits in here. That is why this hits a nerve because estheticians are not just service providers. We are category builders. We are the bridge between the brand and the client, and this just kind of felt like a slap in estheticians' faces. I'm gonna insert the TikTok video that really broke down, the process that Bush Balm has been going through to go ahead and trademark it.
Bushbalm wants to trademark the word Vajacial, and we can't let them. Here's the full timeline. March 2025, Bushbalm applies for a trademark of the word Vajacial. If they win, no other company can manufacture products using Vajacial. 2, no esthetician can use that word in their services. And 3, no esthetician can use that word in their trainings. October 2025, Trademark Department says your application is kind of sort of denied. Bushbalm is a Canadian company. You said that you already have this trademark in Canada. Submit your proof. And 3, you're asking for other companies not to be able to manufacture products using Vajacial. But which products specifically? Face creams, condoms, hair dye, be specific. March 2026, Bushbalm responds, we want to protect about 25-ish products, including hydrogel facials, jelly masks, skin brightening serums, body scrubs. And they beefed up their education claim. No esthetician is allowed to use Vajacials in their certifications. You can offer certifications in intimate skin treatment or bikini area facial treatment, but you can't use the word Vajacial. Also, they asked the examiner to hit pause. Basically, we don't have the Canadian registration yet, so freeze this application until Canada finishes up. And they added 15 more lawyers to the file, which tells you that they are investing real legal resources. Trademark Department comes back, denies the trademark because Vajacial is merely descriptive, meaning the word just describes what the thing is. They also added an advisory that the mark may even be generic, which is the worst possible finding for a trademark. The examiner is saying Vajacial isn't a brand name, man. It's the name of the thing itself, like trying to trademark manicure for a nail salon. Complete smackdown. Examiner even attaches a screenshot from Wiktionary where Vajacial is a term found on that site. And they looked at third-party websites like Amazon.com and Starpill.com and WaxingLovely.com and even pointed to Bushbalm's own website and said, nah, man, your own marketing uses this term descriptively. The examiner literally apologizes, my bad, you should have got this earlier. But Bushbalm isn't giving up the fight. They filed another response on April 23rd. They attached a 5-page PDF. Bushbalm said, dude, unfair. You approved a trademark for Vajacial twice, 2010, 2014, and a trademark for the Vajacial in 2014. All lived for over a decade and got canceled in 2020 and 2025 only because the owner didn't file maintenance paperwork. Why would you approve it 3 times before and deny it now? Bushbalm also argued some other points like the Wiktionary entry is unreliable because it's user edited. But the previous allowance, that's their strongest argument. So now the Trademark Department has to either differentiate between Bushbalm's registration and the previous registration, or they have to prove that what was registrable in 2010 is no longer registrable in 2026 because the term has become more generic since then. Either way, Bushbalm spent serious money on this brief. It's well written, cites the right cases, and has a real argument. Bushbalm isn't abandoning this fight, but neither are we. Tune in for part 2 where I discuss what we can do.
First thing I want you to do is do not panic. A trademark conversation does not mean you have to tear down your whole service menu tonight, but it does mean you should pay attention. Number one, the glow notes, and of course, some homework. So the first glow note, the word Vajacial is to function as an industry service category, not just one brand's name. Number 2, a trademark is supposed to identify the source of goods or service. It is not supposed to let one company own the common language everyone needs to describe their work. Your homework is to pick out a new phrase, a new way to refer to Vajacial. Do I think that this is actually going to be a big thing we have to worry about? I really don't. I don't think this is going to be an issue. I do understand why it turns some heads, but I don't think it's going to be anything we have to actually worry about. Oh, they did drop the trademark. Oh,
Hi, Bushbalm. Thank you for listening to the community. And to everyone who spoke up about this, thank you for showing up. That's how change happens. A special thank you to the estheticians who rep Bushbalm products and pushed for this internally. You used your relationship for the right reason. That takes extreme guts. When someone forwarded this post to me about dropping the US trademark, my first thought was, what about Canada? Your application up there was much further along than the one here. But true to your word, I checked the Canadian database today and saw the withdrawal. That was a classy move. I noticed you withdrew it without prejudice, which means you can refile it anytime. I trust you heard the people and won't. I looked at the US Patent and Trademark database. As of the time of this filming, I haven't seen you withdraw just yet. If I don't see it there by next week, I will still file a letter of protest, just in case, because I have trust issues. It's a me thing. I'm sure you understand. But in all honesty, truly, thank you. And to everyone who flooded my DMs with proof of Vajacial before 2025, you are the real ones. I'm having my assistant save all the images just in case this ever happens again because, trust issues, man.
this has to be because everybody rallied together. As always, guys, thank you for listening. Please make sure you join the Facebook group. Everybody get your learn on.
Gotta find beauty in the flow. The more you know, the more you glow. Take it everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Feeling powered, intentional, doing so care. Elevate, share, get it all right here. Good vibes, good your shine on. Right here's where it's at all the time on. Everybody get your learn on. Everybody get your grow on, go on. Everybody get your shine on. Right here's where it's at, queen shine on.